Howdy, my name is Cloudy. Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't checked out my past videos, make sure you check them out. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all know what time I'm gonna be posting, it's gonna be any time after 6 p.m. That means 6 p.m. Pacific time. You know what I'm saying? People who live on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? It's that time, you know? Anytime after 6 p.m. That means 6:01 p.m., 6:02 p.m., 6 p.m. 30 seconds after. Today, we got a video from Everything Always. Breaking. Blade finally finds director.
Okay, so let's start with the actual industry insider and Daniel Rickman. You guys can follow him over on Twitter at RPK News. He had an update via his Patreon yesterday that said he's hearing now that Jordan Peele is being, quote, eyed by Marvel Studios to direct an upcoming movie for them. Then we had another Twitter scoopster in the redacted guy weigh in and add to it and say this, that Jordan Peele actually approached Marvel Studios and was like, hey, I want to direct a Marvel movie. Now, it didn't take long for the social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook to start reporting that Jordan Peele was now in line to direct the upcoming Blade film, but you have to sort of give them a pass because in this instance, jumping to that conclusion is actually not too far off. It's already been reported by trusted Hollywood trades that Jordan Peele and Marvel Studios have met in the past. One of the films he was reportedly tied to was possibly directing the X-Men reboot, and it was also said before that Marvel Studios
Scott 1000 helps prevent
offered him Blade when they went through their entire carousel of directors, which I think the final number was 4.
See, look, now, my question is, we know Jordan Peele, he's very funny, you know what I'm saying? So I wonder, because it might not be a Blade movie, you know what I'm saying? But from what we know, he wants to do, he wants to do Blade, or he's heavily tied to possibly doing Blade. But since I know he does, you know, he's very comedic, you know what I'm saying? He's very funny and everything. I wonder if it will be something other than Blade, because don't you think like Blade is more of a serious type Marvel movie? So you got, what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking of all the funny movies, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's go check his resume real quick. Get Out was fire. We all see now, I'm pretty sure. I've seen Us was pretty fire, you know what I'm saying? Candyman was actually really good as well. I'm trying to find a movie that would be something similar to what Blade would be like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta pick a movie that, you know, that could kind of be on Blade's level, you know, that he's directed or, you know, put in work in, you know? He did the American Dad, some American Dad stuff. Okay, he got a lot of, bro, I'm telling you, he got a resume, bro. Like, people like him. He been doing this thing, bro. But is there any movie here that makes y'all feel safe enough to where y'all like, yeah, he can do a Blade movie based on what he did with this?
Their entire carousel of directors, which I think the final number was 4, with at least 5 or 6 writers on the script before it was indefinitely shelved. However, Mahershala Ali and even Mia Goth have said out loud in the last month or two that they're still attached to the project and excited to get to it when it finally gets done. So ultimately, we know Blade is coming in the next saga, and because Jordan Peele has a natural inclination and affinity for the horror genre in general, with a twist of tone, it seems like he would be the perfect.
Okay. So the horror part, we can see that coming in for Blade, Ghost Rider type, you know, the horror part. But when it comes to the action and all that stuff, y'all think Jordan Peele can really make Blade one of them? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all gotta let me know, bro. Has he done anything that was like pure action? You know what I'm saying? That has a lot of action scenes in it. You know, because like I said, he has a catalog of things he put his hands on, you know. So I wonder if any of those things is similar enough to where it's like the action is similar enough to Blade, you know what I mean? So I can go and watch it and see like what Jordan Peele does with his action in his movies, you know.
Preparing for Blade filming,
because us Get Out, bro, I
for any director that if you're into like doing the action and nailing Blade's really tone, that has got to be a dream project. And I'm surprised we haven't heard more people step up. The director for a lot of the John Wick films, and Chad Stahelski, already threw his hat in the ring. Why that didn't happen, I'm not exactly sure, but this is pretty much the opposite of what we've been hearing about directors in Hollywood, right? Most of them haven't wanted to work with Marvel and for quite some time for the same reason that
This is how you can lose the weight.
That Marvel wants to work with directors that you could factually say aren't as seasoned or say veteran in their own right as directors.
Wait, why don't
work with Marvel for quite some time for the same reason that Marvel wants to work with directors that you could factually say aren't as seasoned or say veteran in their their own right as directors. One needs to look no further than, say, The Marvels or Captain America Brave New World, with Nia DaCosta and Julius Ona respectively directing those projects. When compared to other huge directors in the industry, well, as we've said, there are reasons that big name actors, big name directors steer clear of Marvel because they don't want to be assimilated into the machine. They don't want what Kevin Feige says is plussing what we call movie by committee. And you have to admit that even for some of their best work during the multiverse saga, there are very obvious marring marks where their movie by committee actually derailed a project, and in some cases because
I understand what he's saying. I think he's saying actors and directors don't want to work with Marvel due to the fact that they always say a project is going to be coming out or they're working on one, and then they cancel it or they push it back to a later date. And I think that pisses. Like I was saying this before, like that's gonna piss off a lot of actors and stuff. Like, bro, like I put aside some things thinking I had a project to be working on for 2023, let's say 2023, and turns out now you pushing that project back to 2026, and now I can't get back to the other role that I did want to do, that I decided to throw off because I also want to do this. I can see it. It's probably hurting a lot of actors and directors. Like I don't want to say their resume, but it's probably hurting their track record. I guess that's probably the same thing, but it's probably hurting their track record a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's probably they probably missing opportunities thinking that they had this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people, and I know some people be like, well, they should have never took the opportunity. But you gotta think about it, bro. Marvel, for a lot of people, bro, is where they get to be like, they can really be creative. They can really be kids again. You know what I'm saying? Like they can really have fun on set. You know what I mean? Like they ain't gotta be too serious. They can really laugh and all that. So you gotta think about maybe the sets and all that stuff when it comes to like superhero and villain stuff. It's just really fun to be on. You know what I mean? And to be around. So a lot of these actors and directors probably like, hell yeah, I want to join in if we really finna do this. You know what I'm saying? That's why they take the opportunity. Like, if you finna take this opportunity, have some fun, make some bread. And if we get some, like, I don't know, let's say if we get some like I'm trying to figure out something serious. If we get something like American Sniper again, we'll do that in a later date or something like that. Or maybe somebody else should do it. It's making people miss opportunities that they could have had that they pushed aside. Is what I'm saying. That's what I think.
The movie's original script was so strong, like Multiverse of Madness, or somewhat,
especially with Blade, bro.
Case of Quantumania, no matter how hard they tried.
I know Marshall Ali is probably mad.
Still pretty good. Still, you have to wonder if the directors had been allowed to just make their original vision, whether it would have been better or worse. But for a lot of directors, again, established in their own right, they don't want to go into that sort of open conversation, unfinished scripts, and do it the quote-unquote Marvel way. Which Marvel Studios had no problem saying they were trying to rehaul their process and go back to quality over quantity, but Kevin Feige made sure to mention at that huge press conference right after the Fantastic Four dropped this year that they are keeping the movie by committee and continuing to do movies the way they have in that respect. And I only focus on that because I think it's extremely important in the context of, say, a director like Jordan Peele. After his work on Key and Peele and the movies he's put out, he definitely has a very unique, a very textured and strong voice as a director, and I can't imagine from any director who's established as he is wanting to be like, yeah, you know what, bring the producers on set, let's just always talk about it, never finish a script, and just go into it open-ended and improv it as we go along. That's just not the way.
Yeah, I wonder how many actors really go into a project with unfinished scripts, bro. Like, and I honestly think it's kind of crazy that these companies like Marvel and stuff really step to these actors and directors with unfinished scripts or scripts that they haven't even started on yet. I really do think that is a little crazy. And the reason why, because it's like, bro, you kind of giving them false hope, and you already know y'all track record, bro. Y'all say a movie coming out and y'all postpone it, and then y'all say it's coming out again, and y'all postpone it, and then y'all say it's canceled, and then y'all bring it back, and then y'all postpone it. Bro, y'all did that with Blade at least 7 to 8 times, bro. Imagine how Marshall Ali feels, as an actor. Imagine how he feels. Imagine what kind of projects he probably decided not to get on because he's committed to this Blade character, thinking that he's going to be going on set soon or something like that, So he's trying to keep that open, trying to make sure his body is up to par, you know what I'm saying, to be able to come to the set and play Blade. Because, he got to be, I'm pretty sure I mean, he might have a stunt double, you know what I'm saying? But let's say he don't. He got to be physically ready to play Blade, bro, because dude, he do kicks and all types, you know? So he probably even doing training and all that stuff on the outskirts, you know, to prepare for this role. And it's like, bro, if y'all gonna keep canceling it and bringing them, you know, y'all kind of wasting his time. Y'all kind of hurting his pockets, too. Because he could have took a different, you know? I don't know. I feel bad for these actors. And I see why some actors tell newer actors, like, I ain't even gonna say because I don't know if it's true, but some actors will tell younger actors like don't get into Marvel. Don't get into Marvel. Specifically, they say Marvel. I don't hear nobody say nothing about DC, bro. I hear them say Marvel a lot. Don't get into Marvel, bro. It's gonna mess up your career. I'm telling you, I be hearing that from like the big actors telling young actors sometimes, like, bro, don't do it. Like, it's gonna hurt you, bro. I'm telling you. Especially if they don't have something already ready, don't do it.
There are other directors who have said left Marvel.
I feel bad for Marshall Ali,
something along the
bro,
same lines. He was looking at James Gunn, but I still, it's best respect. The only way that works is that everybody buys in. That's why Marvel Studios have hired directors that want to be a part of the machine. That's why they go back to the Russos to do Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, because everybody knows how to and wants to work in that context. Brothers are the reason why. Conversely, when directors haven't felt comfortable in that machine, they've either said so during or after which, and it's created real rifts and tension on set that certainly could not have amounted to making a
and that makes me wonder how many directors came into Blade, directors, writers, whatever, came into Blade, like, yeah, we finna do this, started, and then they just decided to dip. Like, okay, never mind, we can't do this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gotta pay us, we done. So maybe Marvel is really trying to do it, but they ain't got nobody that's really committed to doing it, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully Jordan Peele, because he's saying Jordan Peele kind of stepped to Marvel about wanting to do something for him. So hopefully Jordan Peele is actually gonna hold it down for us, bro, and give us a Blade movie, bro. Because I guarantee you, bro, Jordan Peele. Now, if you see this video, which I pretty feel, you gonna see this video, bro. Jordan Peele, bro. No matter how good or bad this movie is, bro, guarantee you people gonna tune into it because people haven't seen Blade in a long time, and then people really like you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna be the first one to really commit to bringing Blade back, you know what I'm saying? So people won't be a little bit more biased. They want to give you a little bit more leverage, you know, for the movie because they like, yeah, he the one who really took it on, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody else kept dipping on us, bro. Everybody was being KD. Shout out to KD, bro.
Hope for Jordan Peele's sake that they either give him the sort of sovereignty and breathing room he needs to make the film he wants to make, or he knows how he's going to handle working within the machine of Marvel. That's if this news is true. And as it goes with news of directors and actors, guys, as we've always said with rumors of the such, where there's smoke, there's generally fire, because Hollywood is such a small place. People talk, agents know agents, and it isn't that hard for one person to tell the right person and then that to become news later in the afternoon, because again, Hollywood's only about 10 people big. Now,
you pull up surprise pals.
Sort of a bird's eye view of knowing how Marvel Studios has handled this project up until now and the promises that seem like have been made on the back end for where it's going. We already know one of the more likely rumored projects to go after Blade as a continuation and team up for his character is the Midnight Suns, and I don't wonder from Jordan Peele's point of view if that's something that he would want to do.
I didn't even think about that, bro. What if he's coming to direct the Midnight Suns, bro? What if it's not Blade? What if it's the Midnight Suns? I'll be cool with that too. What if he doing both? Because if he is coming in to do a movie, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just bet my last dollar that Marvel is gonna give him a contract for like 2 to 3 to 4 years, bro, to stay with them to create a couple more movies. Especially if he does fully commit to making whatever movie they trying to get him to make. If he finishes it or finishes his ideas or and they like or whatever, he's most likely gonna get a contract to make another movie or a TV show. I could see that happening, bro. Jordan Peele, bro. We trust him, man. Stay with us.
To do a Blade
Stay with
into
us.
the Midnight Suns mix, and
Stay with us,
especially
man.
if he actually does
Please.
well with Blade, he'd probably be the first up to do the Midnight Suns continuation. I have a lot of thoughts and theories about what's been going on with that project. I think it ultimately comes down to Mahershala Ali looking at the script
feel
and
like
saying,
Midnight
no,
Suns
that's
will
not
probably
good
come out
enough,
first.
but still sticking with the project and telling them to do better. So when the movie finally drops, we're really going to owe it to him. I think it also...
Wait, Marshall Ali has the power to like to do that? To just be like, nah, I ain't fucking with that, change it. He has the power to do that? Maybe he has the power to do it because he's the only person that's playing that could play Blade that, you know, good enough for them, you know? So maybe that's why he got the power to do that. Like, we trust Marshall Ali to make sure this movie is good. Like, we trust his input to give us a good script too, you know. Maybe he is that good though, you know. You never know. Like, maybe he real good at putting his 2 cents in there, and maybe it made a lot of other movies good that he was in because of his input. You never know, bro. Maybe that's part of like his little contract negotiating power. Like, I get to also put in my 2 cents when it comes to the story. Like, I get to change some shit if I don't like it. I get to change it, especially if I decide to commit to it. Like, maybe it's part of his contract. I didn't know he could do stuff
how
like
badly
that.
he wants to play this role and knows that he can't make movies
Man,
that
I
are
mean,
at
how
least
many
as good,
actors got
if
the
not
power to
better,
do that?
than the original Blade films. So really, bravo to him for not letting Marvel
thinking it's
serve us up a
because
subpar Blade film.
he's
I
going
think
to
Jordan
be-
Peele would be
be Blade.
a
Like,
perfect
he's
match for that. And
committed
if it's not Blade,
Blade.
I hope they do find
He's
a way
going
to
to
work
be Blade,
together,
you know?
because Marvel Studios is ultimately going to
Maybe that's
thrive. Their
why.
projects and franchises are going to be better off if they get good directors. Jordan Peele is certainly one of them. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below about any...
Hey, no matter what, bro, I like Jordan Peele, bro. I like all his little comedy skits and everything like that, bro. I love him, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure all the comedy skits I be seeing from Instagram and stuff, it might be from the Key and Peele TV show or movie, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It might be from that, you know, like little clips and stuff. But if Jordan Peele's gonna commit, bro, I really hope he don't dip off like other directors and writers have.